When the eagles fly.
Okay, ready?
Sure.
Say it with me now. Kurwa
Kurwa
swoje
swoja
matkę.
matkę.
So now let's say it together. Ready?
Oh, Jesus.
Kurwa swoje matkę.
That.
And welcome.
You just said welcome.
Well, now we're translating it into English. And
Sure.
welcome to those horror pals.
Hey, what's up? He wanted to do that. I thought it was silly.
I thought it was cute.
Are we cute?
Janetka's more in love with this place than she is with me.
No way.
Yeah, so we just watched a movie, you guys, called Demon, directed by Marcin Wrona and starring Tehran, and you can pronounce that one. Agnieszka.
Give the Polak a shot at it.
Go for it.
Agnieszka Zulewska?
Zaluska.
Zulewskia.
Yeah, that.
Zulewskia. I like pierogies.
It tells the story of a guy who's getting married and he gets possessed during his wedding by a Jewish demon ghost. I don't know. What the fuck was this movie, dude? What can you classify this movie as? I don't know.
Strange.
It's not really a horror movie, but it is, but it's also like... So imagine if David Lynch was Jewish and then decided to write a movie about a Polish wedding.
Oy vey, there's a fish in the percolator.
But like, for real, it's like some of these characters might as well have been pulled out of Twin Peaks.
No, some of them were just bizarre.
Some of them were just bizarre. You have the drunken doctor who's constantly swearing.
I don't drink.
I don't drink as he downs an entire
eighth of vodka in like
flask
a minute.
of vodka. Interesting fact: the director killed himself before this movie came out, which is kind of a huge middle finger to everybody who saw this movie and didn't understand it.
Maybe he did it on purpose.
Maybe it was.
We should not be making a joke.
We really
out of
shouldn't
the
be making a joke
suicide
about the suicide of a
man.
man. Yeah, like, this guy killed himself, and now no one will ever know what this movie means. I sure as fuck don't. He doesn't. But I kind of dug it. In a weird way.
Is that a fucking pun because of the grave?
It wasn't, but I mean, sure. I kind of liked it in a weird way, and in a way I don't really know how to fully explain.
Yeah, I mean, cinema. All right, let's just go into likes then.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just gonna dive right in, I mean, this is a incredibly well put together movie. I mean, it is gorgeously crafted. Like the cinematography is beautiful. It's like absolutely breathtaking through the whole movie. It's very washed out and gray, but in a way that kind of lends itself to the tone of the film and the way that The Witch does it. And there was the thing I said to you about symmetry throughout the movie, which is...
Yeah, elaborate on that for them.
The shots are they're framed in a very, like, off-putting way, where you have your subject at the center of the frame, which, isn't that weird, but everything around them is super symmetrical in a way it's both appealing and also off-putting, because it just makes everything feel kind of wrong. And I don't really know how else to explain it other than that.
Asymmetrical.
Yeah, well, much like this movie.
It makes it feel like things are just slightly off, which is what this movie was. This movie was just slightly off.
I
By
agree.
Slightly off, I mean a lot of off.
Yeah, it was really weird and confusing, and I don't know how to explain it. The acting was really good, though.
Yes, it was.
Even from the very bizarre characters, that's the one thing you can say is that none of the movies' characters were memorable, because they were very memorable and very weird. But I really like Tehran, the husband. He did a really good job.
I'm like checking the board to see that.
The one who played the husband. The guy who played Piotr.
Okay.
He did a really good job. He gave a really excellent performance.
Yeah, his
body movements and just like the twitchiness but even just the way he switched between his normal
voice. He was like Iggy Pop doing all the fucking like...
Yeah, but he's not as wrinkly and leathery.
Doesn't have one varicose vein going from his neck.
He's not as leathery as Iggy Pop. He doesn't have a face on his stomach. Also, I love the way he switches between like his normal voice and like the little girl voice almost. It's kind of creepy. What were you gonna say?
I was just summing up my likes really quickly.
Oh.
I was just saying cinematographically. Cinematographically.
Yeah.
The symmetrical thing you were mentioning and stuff like, and the acting, specifically Italy.
Tiran? I'm assuming.
Italy without the L is his acting, his body movements. But I was just going right at, not so much of a dislike, but there was so much out of place fucking in this movie.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I think it was lending to this movie's a bit of everything. It's a bit of a black comedy.
It's a bit absurd, yes.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of absurdism in there, and I think it was intentional.
But like, not only what was the doctor's name?
I don't know. It's doctor. No, that was the brother. The brother-in-law walked into the barn, and the singer and the
celloist.
The cellists were fucking.
And they're like going at it like two kids in a bad liberal arts college.
You're stealing that joke. Yeah, and he hands them money.
And he's like throwing them money, and they're just going at it like...
It definitely lends itself to the absurd and the weird and just like the... It's, like I said, it's meant to be a black comedy. This movie defies a lot of genres. It's a bit of everything, and I don't know if it's kind of tonally confused as a result, though.
Yes, I agree.
Because I was confused as fuck. But I also feel like some of that is because it was lost in translation, at least a little bit. I didn't fully understand this movie by the end, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is a movie that's like up for interpretation, but there wasn't much to interpret.
And we can also factor in that this was like The Shining, but Polish.
Yeah, there was that ending scene. That ending bit with The Shining, it was totally out of The Shining. It was really weird. What a strange film. I do, like, my one complaint would just be that I wish it had gone somewhere, really.
Yeah, it never took off.
It just well, I mean, it wasn't that it didn't take off, but
film,
it was an anticlimax.
It felt like if you were on a plane that just kept circling the runway, and after, like, 2 hours you realized you never took off, and it just kept going around.
Because I was really, like, getting into it, and then by the way, it just sort of, like... That was my sound effect of it going...
Not in a bad way, but this movie was like Buddy Holly's plane.
You come up with the weirdest fucking metaphors.
But if, like, it didn't crash and burn and kill everybody on board, but just sort of, like, skittered off the runway and maybe, like, hit a fence. But everybody was perfectly fine. They got out, and the captain was sort of just like, shit. That was what this movie was.
This movie was weird. Apparently, it's based on a legend too. I mean, the Dybbuk part, I understand. I know that's a legend because that's actually I know about that. But apparently, it's actually
Jewish.
Yeah, but apparently, it's based on a story called The Clinging. It's said in the opening credits, and I don't know. I should probably read it. Maybe I'll understand the movie more. What would you rate this movie? I don't even know, honestly. I don't know how to rate this movie.
I'd rate this movie as a step above meh, but I don't know enough movies to say...
It's a good fan of...
Good for
fans of something. Foreign...
For fans of, like, taking mescaline in a dark room.
It's good for fans of foreign art house horror, I guess.
I'd say that better.
Sure. I mean, I don't really... I can't say I dislike this movie, but it was... I mean, like I said, like I think that sums up both of our thoughts. It's just good for fans of foreign art house horror films, maybe tonally jumbled films. Like, I don't fucking know, dude.
The movie was like a stale cigarette almost. At the end of the day, it's still a cigarette. Like, it's still like, oh great, like I still had one, but like. You start smoking it, and you're like, alright, it's a cigarette, you haven't had one in a while. Then you get about halfway through, and you're waiting for, like, that bold and Marlboro flavor to kick in or something, or maybe that menthol if you're a little bitch, but it's, but it just never happens, and you get to the end of it, and you feel like you just smoked a cardboard, like, egg carton. You see where I'm going with this?
Happy post-Hanukkah, Internet. This is our post-second Hanukkah movie review. Happy New Year, by the way.
Oh, yes. Yes, very happy New Year.
And, click down there and like, comment, subscribe if you like us. I'm a confused boy. He's also a confused boy.
This movie left me with a yearning for pierogies.
This movie made me hungry.
Wanna go get pierogies?
I want to go like try desperately to keep a wedding going, even though it's crashed and burned for hours.
There's vodka involved.
Let's do it.
Let's go. See you next time.